Hello, everyone, and welcome to Phoenix Gaming. I am doing something actually really fun today. I'm really excited for doing this. We are here with Anthony. Say hello, Anthony.
Hi.
And Anthony reached out to me on Board Game Arena. He is tanking Tom here, as you can see. And very excitingly, is coming to the WSBG in Vegas, the competition there for the first time this year. And he reached out and said that he's been practicing Arnak a whole bunch. He's played like almost 100 games on Board Game Arena, it looks like, and he's telling me that he just needed a little bit of extra insights into what's going on here. So we're gonna do a little bit of a coaching sesh and share it with y'all and see how that goes. Thanks for the great idea, Anthony. I'm really excited about this. So you said this was like a game that you picked out that you thought was an interesting one. Is there anything you want to say in advance, or do you want to kind of go through spoiler free?
Um, I thought this was an interesting one just because the players I'm playing against, I mean, there's a level 500 player and a 328. So they're experienced. And it seemed like when I was playing, these players were doing things that were maybe like blocking me.
Hmm.
Uh, so it felt like a good competition and maybe something I might expect at WSB. And I'm in seat one here, which I think is one of the tougher seats to play.
Absolutely.
Um, and I played this game a few days ago. I don't remember it exactly. I didn't write down what, but I think there was a few spots towards the end where I was confused about. And I thought I played the beginning well, but who knows?
Cool. Yeah, I'm curious. So, like this opening flop here, you're in seat one. I agree, it's like the weaker seat. What stands out to you as catching your eye at the beginning here?
um, so I think the market has some good cards. Two cards stick out to me as Hat and Binoculars.
Yep, love those.
Those are great cards, I think. And in the uh, market on the bottom, there's some good ones there too. There's the guy who changes a boot to an arrowhead, which is really solid, and then the lady who gives you a compass, which I think is also um, pretty good. And the other guy, he's not the worst, but he's also not the best. But
Yeah,
those
he's generally
work.
hated by folks. I like him more than the average player, I think. Though. But you're right. Those other two, I think, are definitely like pretty top tier assistants. So I fully agree with that assessment. I definitely have my eyeball on Hat. You're right. Binoculars is just raw power, really good. And then I also like Brush. It's awkward to buy early, but it's like coins to points is just really good. And eventually, it's like worth three compasses, which is nuts as an action. So I'll sometimes buy it early if there's nothing else to buy. Fortunately, you don't have that issue here, so we're gonna be buying something cool. Um, cool. So what did you do? You remember what you start? Actually, we can just see what you did as your first action here, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume I just went straight to arrow. I think
Yeah, Arrowhead's
usually,
kind of the default first seat. It's like not even necessarily amazing for first seat. What it is it's just good for someone else to take. Like because in first seat, if you get arrow and gem, hooray! But like the odds of you getting arrow and gem are like very low. But leaving that arrowhead for other people is not great. So I almost always open arrowhead. So I like the open here for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I did the arrow. Um,
This guy, he
Green one.
immediately grabbed the gem. That's not too surprising. Shame for you, but yeah, not a big surprise. In third seat here, I think depending on that compass situation. Wow, that is surprising. You almost never see third seat open coins. That's really interesting. I They must be valuing those items really highly. Usually in third seat, I'm expecting someone to grab compasses or maybe just open with an explore. Uh, like in third seat here, if he had two compasses in hand, which we don't know if he does, like that's a really nice open because he can rush to get one of those good assistants. So him not doing that implies to me that he maybe doesn't have two compasses in hand. Not that it matters that much, but that's a thing that I'm thinking right now. So okay, we're back to
Hmm.
you. What's your head at right now?
So Now I'm from here. The compasses look pretty good because he left them. Um, but I like to start purchasing now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went hat here just because I think hat's super good. So I think from here I went with the hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the tension here is that like if the other two players grab the compass site and the tablet site, that really sucks for you. It puts you in a really bad position. And so my my concern is that the players will do that. I'm assuming that the player in third seat does not have two compasses for an explorer, given their opening play. And then that player in second seat, we don't know. Like it's just essentially like it's a full on gamble about whether they're going to explore or not. So I think it's fine to buy here. I think I agree with that choice, but it is in my mind that I'm worried that I'm going to get blocked. So I'd agree with the hat pickup because we know binoculars is very likely to go Iliaxer here. So all right, let's see.
Oh,
You went
okay.
for
So
it. You were also concerned that they maybe would take your spot. I think that's okay.
yeah.
I do think I like the buying the hat line, but I don't hate this choice of being more safe with your assistance here. So I think that's fine. And then let's see what our friends do. They go for the hat. So that takes the hat away from us, which is a little bit of a bummer, but flipping a rough map is a pretty nice consolation prize, depending on if Iliaxer buys it or not. They dump their compasses. I was wrong. They can't explore, so they go and do that. I guess they know that they're safe from a binoculars pickup here. Um, what are you thinking in your position here?
Now I'm confident about this one. I think I just take the rough map.
Yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that pickup a lot too.
So in the previous situation, you prefer picking up the hat over the compasses there.
I probably would have picked up hat over compasses, guessing that second seat was going to explore, and then turns out third seat explores anyway. What I don't want to be stuck in is the situation where player two takes the compasses, player three takes the tablets, and then you're left with your second archaeologist, and you can't explore, so you have to do like a really crappy, like two boot action. Like that puts you in a really bad position. So I didn't mind the compass play because you're avoiding that bad situation. But yeah, I'd probably pick up hat as the default, and it worked out okay. That's kind of a bummer flip for you, actually. Only in the sense that like precision compass is quite good. The other line was to like press for 4 coins to force Iliaxer or Aaxer or whatever to get the binoculars. And like you right because you had 2 coins, you have a coin in hand, and if you had advanced on the track, that's your fourth coin. So it's possible for you to like press them on it. That's the other option. In fact, like it's almost a shame rough map flipped because you kind of have to buy it so that BCWCC doesn't grab it. But you really wanted something that was like a 2 or 3 coin good card to flip rather than precision compass. But that's getting too in the weeds probably. All right, so what is what did BC end up doing?
He
Oh, researches went up with the gem. That makes sense because they're picking up the coin, and Iliaxer is doing exactly the same because they are not pressed for money. So it makes sense that they're slow rolling here. So I like that they advance on the track. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now here, I imagine you're advancing. There's kind of nothing else going on unless you really want to buy that
yeah,
tax.
yeah, no, I'm going with the advance.
Yep, that makes sense. Here we got them running out and getting some tablets. Okay. Oh sure, we have it looks like an idle expenditure for Axer here. So
Yep.
they're planning on picking up one of the assistants. makes a lot of sense. That is the advantage of exploring on the first turn at the expense of getting a fear, which makes sense.
Yeah, you
Flip
picked
another
up
good one now.
Yeah. And then here, 2 coins.
Yeah, you're in an awkward position here because the rough map expenditure. Yeah, actually, if the strange thing is, if we had not bought rough map, BC would have bought rough map, which is pretty good for them. But then you would have 4 coins here to buy. Probably not, but binoculars. Probably Axer would have taken it, but like horse or precision compass. We don't really know that that's how it's going to shake out, but yeah, you can either spend 3 coins on brush or 2 on axe, or just keep the coins. These are not like dreamy choices. Do you remember what you did?
I don't remember what I did here. I think I didn't like picking up axe here just because I have both fears.
Yeah, if you have a bad shuffle, that like absolutely hoses you.
Yeah, and I don't think I would pick up brush either because I don't have an idol.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think oh yeah, and I have a funding. My next card's funding, so I think I may have just passed here.
got it. So yeah, you're gonna dump all these out.
Okay,
You
so
drew a
never
card.
mind. Yeah, I don't know if I like that one.
Yeah,
Uh,
not I I'm not a giant. Well, you know what? Actually, here you get a coin, so now you're up to 4 coins. It's
yeah,
actually
okay, now
kind
it's
of
coming back.
interesting.
Yeah, okay, now it's coming back. That was my because I knew I had the last coin in there, so I draw it, and then now I can pressure binoculars. I probably won't get binoculars, but I was thinking precision compass is still like pretty solid to pick up.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. I'll say also, I rather than passing, I would have spent 3 coins on brush, and brush is obviously like useless next turn, but I would have used the brush to explore because you would have had plenty of
Mm,
compasses.
got it.
Or I guess not necessarily true, but very, very. I think it like more or less has to be true. And so you'd probably get the third compass, or I think definitely get the third compass out of the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not definitely. There's a chance that you have a really, really horrible draw, but quite likely get the third compass out of the deck. And then I'd explore and use the brush as the car. But I actually don't mind this stone jar pickup here. I think this is fine. I'm excited to see where this goes, actually. Pathfinders is going to die. Sad for those sandals. Oh, BC does have 3 compasses and explicitly chose not to explore. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting because he is the second seat, so I would think you'd want to do that so you
Yeah,
can.
I think that it's tough to like waste a fear card in hand. So I think BC probably had 2. Oh no, played it with only 1 fear card.
Hmm.
That is very curious to me. I think I would have explored in BC's position. All right, that's a track advance for Axer here, and they don't pick up binoculars. Huge mistake on their part, and hopefully you did. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe they saw that there's multiple 4 coin options, and a flip of a pickaxe is pretty good for them.
Yeah.
But that in a vacuum, that was a very missed opportunity on their part. 5 coins, so they get pickaxe and precision compass. That's pretty dirty. Cool. And then you're passing here, certainly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
they go for horse instead. It's not horrid. I like horse more than the average person. Like precision compass and a horse both essentially give you 3 resources. And as your deck gets better, because like there's a pickaxe in there, the horse gets even better. So that's not. I don't have a real problem with them picking that up over precision compass. I think I probably would choose precision compass, but I like horse. I do like horse. All right, pretty like a perfectly average draw for you with 1 fear, 1 exploration, 1 funding there. Knowing that you're drawing the other 2, that's funny. And so BC goes straight for the good resources. That's really interesting. I wonder if they're planning on killing that tiger, because it is expensive to get an early fear into their deck. Yeah, I'll be interested to see where they head with that. Axer, I think it makes a lot of sense. They pick up those tablets because they're probably going to want to advance into the middle there, so they need tablets and arrowheads for days. So what are you thinking here?
So kind of want to get the assistant, but I'm looking like I'm going to lose that race to either of them actually.
Yeah, this is why first seed is so bad, is that on turn 2 you have no tempo.
Yeah. I do like going up the left side to pick up that extra resource.
Yeah, if you can get gems, that's
So
pretty sweet.
possibly looking for a gem. Gonna explore this round as well, so I think I might just exile and explore first to kind of see what I'm working with, and just play a little slow.
Yep, I think that makes total sense. The other thing I'd
Yeah,
consider here is your fear card for the arrowhead here would be an option, just to like prevent your opponents from being able to grab it, because you know that they need tablets and arrowheads. And so like jamming out that fear card early is reasonable if you're not in a rush. But a little bit you are in a rush. You don't want, no one's really pressuring you on the left side, but you know it's going to take you have to exile and then explore in order to get a ruby. So I like a map play here. I think that's totally fine. Yep. And then let's see what they decide to do. And yeah, so BC is going to go ahead and pick up. I would guess that they would pick up the jeweler here, but I wouldn't hate a pickup of the exploration assistant either. I really like her. And looks like they grabbed the jeweler indeed, which makes a lot of sense. It's just good for advancing on the track at this stage of the game. Cool.
okay,
And
so thinking, I know I'm going to explore
yep.
here. And I'm going to go for the paper.
Yeah, agreed. Tablet's definitely the way to go here. There's just so much need for tablet in the early stage of the game on this map.
Yeah, and I assume I just use my coin for tablet.
Yeah, coins are not so great with the board flop right now, so I do by default use my coins to travel. So yeah, good call.
Yes.
That's a really interesting flip for you in a couple ways, actually, because you got the ruby that you wanted, which I think is pretty sweet. Getting extra fears is not dreamy at this stage of the game, but the extra resources are just so good. And it gets you actually like another compass, which really might come in play here. Also, now we have this question of like, do we want to try to kill this guy? Because you have a fear in hand. Like, you might be able to kill this monster rather than taking the fear from it. So that's a fun choice. Well, you have a cash problem though. No coins. My guess is that your next move here is advancing on the track. That would definitely be the right choice. Yeah, great. And then they're going to advance here. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
You have some pretty exciting options here, I think, actually. With the binocular, it gives you a lot of choices. So what are you looking at? Where's your head at?
Um, yeah, binoculars looking good, and I think I am leaning towards the arrowhead and the
And tablet. Yeah,
tablet.
I like it.
This just give me an easy way to go back up, go up the track. I don't see anything else uh, just yet. Maybe eventually, maybe going for the arrowhead with the leftover exploration if I don't kill this guy.
Yeah, if you know for a fact that you're going to grab the arrowhead, then you should grab it now because Axer also has like an assistant laying around and they might be interested in the same thing. Um, that's the only, I think that's the tension concern here. If you are a little bit more ambivalent about it, then I don't mind waiting here because the line that I'm looking at here involves trader scales. So that artifact on the left there gives you coins and an upgrade. And you're a little over tableted right now. Like tablets will be useful next turn. It's not like it's bad to have them. In fact, it's amazing to have them. But if you take trader scales and upgrade one of those tablets into an arrowhead, now you have the coins and the arrowhead to defeat the monster that you're standing on.
Hmm.
And I think that's actually pretty interesting
Yeah.
because binoculars can get you an advance on the track, right? Be it that you're probably getting an arrowhead or something like that. And then functionally, your dream this turn is you have three arrowheads, right? Like advance on the track, and then also defeat the monster. Those are the three arrowheads you want to use. The trader scales
Mhm.
also like solves your coin issue for you if you want to defeat that monster. And so knowing that I'm eyeballing all that stuff, uh, I am either prioritizing playing trader scales here or grabbing that third arrowhead by grabbing that arrowhead site right now. So that's where my head's at in terms of like what I want to accomplish for the rest of the turn.
Yeah. I actually think I did go traders coins because I was worried that green would take it.
Yeah,
They
sure.
were one compass away, and it would help them out a lot. And for all those reasons you just said, yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh, you do.
So
Great. Love that. Ooh, that is a monster flip for green.
yeah, I think he snap takes it here. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great pickup for them. And yeah, we would have loved that instead. Like if we could roll it back, that's definitely preferable. What a shame. Oh, another explorer from Axer. They are going all over the world. It's gonna be a lot of unclaimed monsters by the end of this round. I feel like
Yeah. Oh,
you went for
well,
knocking the guy out. I think that's fine. Can we see the assistants right now? I think they already both have their assistants, so you're no rush with assistants. Okay, yeah, I like knocking that guy out fine. That seems reasonable to me.
yeah, and they played all of their
All
explorers,
their
so
assistants, so yeah, you're archaeologists or whatever, so you're not in a hurry. Yep.
yeah.
We're knocking out the scorpion. Axer charging up there. Still a ton of tablets left over. Yeah. I think here
Yeah,
you're either binocularizing or using that car to pick something up.
yeah, I think yeah, binoculars. Oh, I went with the compass. Interesting.
Yeah, I think I would have gone for the tablet as you'd suggested in our conversation earlier.
Yeah,
There's just a huge tablet need on this section of the track. You don't need it this round though, so it's not a horrible pickup, and I think it's still good. I have a mild preference for the tablet.
yeah. Oh, I think it's because I wanted to come up here, but I had one in hand.
You
I
had one in
still
hand, yeah.
don't.
Sometimes it can be helpful to it's slightly advantageous to like keep the cards hidden in your hand. Your opponents don't know what you have. But sometimes it can be helpful to actually just like play them out while you're messing around with your resources, so you don't like overlook it. When I feel like I'm really deep in the tank, I'll actually just like play out my hand and start making my resources in little piles when I play in real life.
Yeah. So they're going up the track.
Yeah, Axer's got a strong start here with a double track or a golden guy on turn two, but their deck is also kind of crapped up by the fact that they're picking up a lot of extra fear along the way. But they did pick up pickaxe and horse. They have a very funky deck situation right now. Like they're definitely at the mercy of their draws in the next few rounds. You probably just advance up the track here and pick up that assistant, is my guess.
Yeah.
Yep. And grab the good one. It's actually really surprising that one lasted for so long. What did you flip as the other one afterwards? The Exiler. Oof.
Oh, is that? Yeah.
That one is my least favorite one. It's a little bit better because you've flipped a thing that gives you a fear. So since you can get a fear every turn by going to that site that gives fear, the Exiler is actually not as bad as it generally is. If there's no fear giving cards in play, I think it's like really awful.
Yeah. It's funny when the first game I ever played this game, that was my first pickup,
Oh
and I
yeah,
was thinking,
same.
I was like, oh, make the deck thin, like that's good, and I was like, oh, it's 5 rounds. Before I knew it, I was like, the game's already over. I'm
Yeah.
like making my deck super thin. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have such a good deck, and then the game was over.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. It's not a deck builder in the same way, but that slow motion deck building is definitely real.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of interesting. Like I do think that you should, and I assume that you're going to advance on the track. But there's actually sort of an interesting choice here about like, do you grab an arrowhead and advance on the right? Do you spend a coin and use a ruby and advance on the left? And then also, which assistant are you going to pick up? Because you functionally have two compasses available to you. So if you pick up the discounter, as I call him, you are going to want to buy something with three compasses. So you're kind of committed to buying that cleansing cauldron. And that's a little bit awkward because if you draw into a fear card or your stone pot thing or whatever the thing, the draw card thing you had last turn, then it's like a little bit of a dud draw, although the clearing is good. And there's actually a really interesting argument here for buying the Exiler because you have binoculars in your deck. You want to be drawing to it as often as possible. So removing that fear and the fact that you can get fear every turn, I actually would consider picking up the Exiler this game as your pickup. And for what it's worth, advancing as an idol on here, I would spend the coin to get the ruby, saying I don't really care about coins that much right now, but I do care about having this extra tablet left over.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I think I went with
The discounter, yeah. In a vacuum, he's better for sure.
but I actually might have. We'll see. I mean, this game is a few days old, so I'm a little bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of fear right now. So I move to the arrowhead.
Yep. Which makes sense, but I do think that spending the coin for the gem is my preferred line here.
Yeah, that's and because you want to keep the tablet to go up
That's
here,
exactly
right?
right.
Easier. Yeah, I didn't. It's interesting because I would think that keeping this your monkey idol, um, yeah, that makes sense though, especially with this side open as well.
I mean, you're definitely going to use the idol at some point. I mean, first of all, I do like grabbing the arrowhead with your action. I would have used the card to do it rather
Yeah,
than the card from your hand, though.
yeah, yeah. Okay, So let's see what I take. Okay, so I do take the exile.
Yeah. I think
I
it's
was
okay
thinking,
in this game because of the fact that you can keep getting more fear throughout the game. You also know you're drawing a fear card next turn.
yeah,
Yeah, and so right, so had you used that idol, you'd have 0 coins, and then you would have a tablet and an arrowhead, which would just set you up really well for next turn. You wouldn't have the idol available, but you'd already be kind of like set up in the resources you want. So I think that would have been how I'd approached it.
yeah, that
Spending.
makes sense.
Go ahead. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying that makes a lot of sense.
I like being aggressive with the idols when possible. That was actually, I think, a big unlock for me was like realizing generally the first two idols, like you want to be as aggressive as possible with them. This tiger's out for blood. I wonder if he's going to get a third hit this turn.
Yeah. So here,
Looks like
uh,
you're getting a compass and a compass. My guess is you're setting up for an explorer,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
which I think makes sense. Like you want to probably get your explorer out earlier rather than later. Kind of decide what you're going to do with your fear card. It's actually this is a really interesting choice in terms of what you use to explore because like the car that you have just sitting there doesn't do anything, but also like the stone jar and the trader's coins, they cost tablets right now. So in a vacuum here, my choice would be to use the stone jar because I don't really want to play it for its stone jar purposes to explore right now.
Yeah, I think I did that. I think I went to the assistant refresh because these guys have a gold already, and I was kind of worried. I don't want to give them a.
I love that line. I think that's really good. Yep, nailed it. Oof, not a dream flip, but actually, since we drew binoculars, it is a dream flip. That site is oftentimes my least favorite site to randomly get, but sometimes it's the goat. Here, it turns out really nice. Okay, so my instinct here is that we're using our binoculars for a tablet and an arrowhead, although draw a card and an arrowhead isn't horrible either.
Yeah.
And I don't mean even necessarily right now. Like I'm already at this stage thinking like what will my binoculars be, in terms of like what should I be using my archaeologists for right now? You are in need of like just piles and piles of tablets. One tablet would let you use your trader's coins, which could upgrade another tablet. You also just are at the break point where you need 2 tablets and 2 arrowheads. So my instinct is I probably would have used that fear card to get some tablets here and just get tablets. You just need so many tablets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you like it. We like the line. And then it is a little awkward to use our tablets for traders coins here because we just need the tablets, but they do upgrade into arrowheads, which we also need, so it's fully reasonable to do that. And the only thing that's unfortunate is you're a little bit slower on the track right now, but that is naturally the case when you are first seat, starting the game, so. Yep, that all seems good. So you need, in order to defeat your snack, you need an arrowhead, which you have. But then in order to advance on the track, you need a tablet and arrowhead. So more and more, yeah, exactly. That's where I think those binoculars are going. And you agree. Yeah, I think so far this round seems like it's very clean. I mean, clearly I'm agreeing with all the decisions. And you're probably just defeating another Guardian, scooping up those points, not getting negatives in there, which I think is great. Which artifact did they just buy? Trader's Scales. That's so interesting. It's not a great mid-game pickup usually because there's just a lot of coins, and this is like when coins really are dropping off in usability. That's very interesting. Them buying that card out from underneath you is really good. Actually, at this point, my attention is always shifting to the new card that flips out. And so Torch is the new card that comes out. And in the situation where you've got 4 coins and BC has 6 coins, I'd be snap buying the Torch here. By this stage of the game, anything that is a 1 coin to 1 victory point value, if I have coins sitting around, I'm going to be buying. And I actually also like Torch at this stage in the game where you know you're still going to be hungry for compasses. It is a little awkward with the exile for you, but you can always just use Torch to travel instead. So it's primarily for the victory point conversion that I'd be looking to buy it.
Got it. I think
Doing an advance here makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I do think that I would have. It doesn't look like BC cares about the Torch either, so I think not everybody is in the same. Even the good players don't play items the same way that I do. I'm pretty aggressive on the item market, so take with that what you will. But I just like the ratio so much.
makes sense. I think I'm gonna probably use a stone and idol here to move up the track.
Yep, I like that. Yeah, getting that 1 gold in this turn is very nice. A lot of compasses are a lot of flexibility. What is there for assistance right now? I'm looking at the Ancient Wine and wondering what options you have. Not dreamy options, but the discounter is kind of fun to use the Ancient Wine with sometimes. So I'm definitely still looking at killing your Sneck here. That's for sure on the table.
Yeah.
There's actually sort of an interesting line here. People don't like War Club, and I've actually started coming around to liking War Club a lot more. So like you either kill the snake by using compass, coin, arrowhead, and you have the coin. You don't have the arrowhead, but you have an idol available. But you could also just kill it with essentially 4 compasses, right? And 4 compasses is sort of the same value, so I don't think it's unreasonable here to buy War Club and smash this guy. I think that would be completely fine.
Yeah. I don't know what I did here, but it looks like
Cleaning up your assistance.
Yeah.
By turtle.
Okay, so I bought the
sea turtle, yeah.
Sea turtle.
Sea turtle's fine. I mean, like, you're gonna need to explore every turn. But the three coins for 1 victory point is not my dream. So that's why I've started moving towards less efficient decks with more points. So I ended up buying things like torches instead. And I don't hate sea turtle. I buy it sometimes, but like I said, I tend to, at this stage of the game, it feels early still, but it's late enough that I start just going for points.
Yeah, I think here I was thinking next turn. So I think I'm going to use my idol to kill the snake.
Yep.
and keep my compasses. And I bought this turtle for the two boats. So for
Mm-hmm.
next week, I can travel to the top.
Sure.
Um, Looking back, I do the war club seems interesting. I'm kind of especially since I have so many compasses right now.
Yeah, I mean, setting up for a travel to the top is fun, but yeah, keeping the idle flexibility is nice too. It's they're both good. And we kill a snack. Yeah, seems good. Cool. And then you are leading this round. So your sea
Yeah.
turtle's also supported by your extra your snack there. Can take you up north too.
Let's see if I do that. 'Cause I'm not sure. Okay,
Oh my god.
yeah.
That rules.
Oh,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't know if I like that one, but
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Drawing more cards is great, but you've already drawn your deck's best card, and you don't really need the coins right now. So I agree that I think exploring first, since you especially since you have these extra explore tokens that like cost you nothing, you can get the untap guy before anyone else can. So yeah, I
yeah.
agree that I'm not the hugest fan of that. It's not terrible, but yeah, not exciting either. Okay.
Wow,
This tiger's out for blood again.
yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, he's done work. It's a very tough monster to defeat, but I think it's so interesting that people are continuing to choose to go there. And you know, functionally, that place has just read like fear arrowhead tablet, and like that's maybe worthwhile, but it's expensive. Okay, interesting. I wonder if they're gonna try to kill that or befriend that owl. You're in such an interesting position here, and where you were behind on the track, but there's actually still an available bonus for you up the middle there. That's actually really fun and cool.
Yeah, I'm assuming I go here now.
I also would assume that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so worked out just fine. Drawing more cards. That's a pretty good get. Because that gem you can use to draw the last card in your deck, which happens to also have an airplane on it, so that's really fun. Yeah.
Yep, up the middle, with that.
All right, so let's take stock here because you have actually like a lot of stuff, and tell me what you're thinking are like your priorities, looking at what you have available to you and what you want to accomplish this turn.
So I do want to advance the book one more time.
Okay.
Um, I guess my priority right now is just advancing up the track with the book and the magnifying glass.
Okay.
Um, so, but for sure, the book I want to go up this time so I can get a golden assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking the left side, since I already have a tablet and a coin, I just need an arrowhead. And I want to kill the monster as well, and he needs an arrowhead. So that's two arrowheads there. Um, I do have my binoculars, which I can get one arrowhead. Um, yeah, this is, I think this is part of the game where my decision tree just starts getting a little big, and I start kind of like with the arrowhead. Do I take um, the tablet for later? Do I take the compass for up here? I think I like the compass and the coin. I don't really want the coin. Um,
Yep.
so I'm leaning towards compass arrowhead here.
Cool.
Uh,
Are you ready for I like the I agree that I see where you're like struggling with the branches a little bit. I really liked how you framed this problem at the beginning, and I want to add something to that guided how I would approach this turn. So can you scroll down just a smidge so I can see your assistance a little bit better? Thanks. So essentially what I would do here, actually, can you do me a half roll up so I can see your resources too, essentially as well? Yeah,
yeah.
perfect. Okay. So here's what I'd be doing right here. I like the idea of advancing your book. You said that was important. I like defeating this monster. You said that was important. I'm noticing that if you advance your book, your pug lady is going to, exile fear twice. You only have one fear in hand and no fear in your discard pile. So what I'm saying to myself is, all right, I'm going to use her to exile this fear from my hand. Then we're going to untap her because we're advancing the book up and goldening her, which means functionally I want to find a way to get another fear so I can get maximum value out of her. Right now, there are no artifacts that give any fear. In fact, the only thing that gives fear in play is where the blue archaeologist is, the one that you found, the fear compass gem, right?
Mm.
So what that says to me is I want to use the binoculars for the fear compass gem, right? So I can get the extra fear. And that way she is being used for maximum value. I also want to solve the problem that you said before, which is I need to be able to kill this dragon guy that's on the top site that you explored. But you have idols available to you. So what I'm saying to myself is I'd use the binoculars to pick up the extra fear. I would use my idol for the arrowhead to defeat the guy up top. And that way I'm maximizing the use of all my assistants and getting as many little edges as I possibly can. Now, using the idol does cost me victory points, but I figure by the end of the game I'm going to use it anyway. And getting a gem reward will allow you to advance on the track here because you'll then have a gem and a tablet, which allows you to advance the book. So a gem is not bad anyway. So that would be my primary focus. The second thing that I'd be saying is, man, I just went through all this thinking about how to deal with this pug lady, what a pain in the butt she is. And I've noticed that there is a decorated horn in play, which lets me swap an assistant. So I might also be looking to swap my pug lady after I used her twice into probably the discounter on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Yeah, all that makes sense. Let's see.
See how it plays out.
See where I went with this.
Coin, coin. Or use a tent pickup maybe?
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, now I'm starting to remember. Remember in the beginning, I said I towards the end of the game, I think I started playing a little incorrectly.
Uh-huh.
I start going off the walls and like start. I mean, I remember this spot. I sat here and I timed out,
Oh.
and I was like thinking, and I came up with something that's probably too creative. So this is when things definitely start going kind of off the rails a little bit.
Okay.
It's interesting, but I do think what you just said, and also it just makes more sense and it's more simple. I see you're just getting value from your assistant, max value from your cards, and yeah, that how you just framed it made a lot of sense. So, yeah.
So in picking up the tent though, what was your hope here? Like why get the tent?
I think I'm going to binoculars and pick up the tent.
Yeah.
And then and then use it again for the site I'm at. I was thinking, okay, that I think at first I was in the same field as what you described,
Yeah.
and then I saw the tent, and I was like, wait a minute, I can pick that up, and then I can get value from a level 2 site. And time was running out, and I was like, that seems kind of cool. Like, I think, is there a lot of value in that right now for getting a level 2 site twice for 2 compasses? Um, and then time was running out, and I just said, you know what, let's go for it and
Yeah,
see
no,
what.
that makes sense. It's a cute line. Like anytime you can buy the last card of or the only card of your deck and know that you're then going to be able to buy it, like I actually kind of like the idea that you're thinking here of like I want to use the tent to do this. The problem that happens is that after you draw that tent, both of your guys are on a draw a card site, which means
Yeah,
now you're going to have to buy another item in order to get maximum value. And that's the part where I think this plan breaks down a little bit.
yeah. And I think I do run into that, and I start scrambling to buy
To
some.
fix it. Yeah, cool. Well, let's check it out. Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
snap pickup for a hot air balloon there makes sense.
And I think when I saw that gold pan, I got really happy because I realized I needed a second card quick.
Totally. Of
So
course,
let's
you don't have
see.
any coins or any way to buy it right now, unfortunately. Ah, okay, I see. You are going to use the discounter to buy something. Yep.
This.
And you bought the refresh one. I actually really like the refresh pickup here. I think this is very clever. Um, I think that card you just bought is undervalued by the community and is just a really good. Functionally, you're paying, right? It's going to untap your 2 compasses. So functionally, you're paying 1 compass for 2 victory points, which is like the best ratio in the game. So that actually is a really nice pickup. And then you're just praying that no one buys the gold pan, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the hope.
They're going to buy stone key here, maybe? I mean, they've got 3 compasses. Oh, they have so many arrowheads. I think it is a probably mistake on BC's part to not buy stone key. I think stone key is like one of the best items in the game, like S plus tier. Maybe Axer will buy it. Yeah, there's a precision compass from them. And then they'll pick up stone key. That's a good pickup for them. Works out nicely for you that you get the gold pan.
Yeah.
And that's great. It does fix the scramble problem there, which is really nice. Wow. Flask is very good. Axer is getting some very, very good flips. I assume that that's going to be what they're going to buy.
Yeah, I remember seeing this flask, and I was like hoping Green would buy it just because I thought Axer was probably in the lead.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought that was just going to be a huge pickup for him. Oh, he didn't pick it up.
Okay. Looks like a little bit of tension between your opponents racing for those bonuses there, which is good for us.
So I think this is where I binoculars and draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you draw arrowhead, which I think is definitely the preferred draw. So that seems good to me. And you've got the 2 compasses with the tent, so that's great too. With your assistant, I mean, like you've got the 2 compasses available. A lot of times people will mess that up. Yeah, I think that's all really nice. Your line, I think, actually ends up working out pretty well, but it did require that gold pan flip. If you don't really get something else from the board there, you're in a lot more trouble here. So you did get a little bit saved, but it is working out quite nicely.
Oh.
Um,
Oh yeah, that was a
Mistake on both your and Axer's part to not pick up the flask here, by the way.
yeah, that was huge. I think I noticed that after I did this too.
Mm-hmm.
I think he no, he doesn't.
He took the horn to swap guys or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, curious. Flipping for the Amelia is not common. That's not a terribly amazing assistant. I would have chosen the discounter in a vacuum, especially
Mhm.
since he's got 5 compasses and can use the discounter for -2 compasses. So I think it's a weird choice on their part. Hey, you get the flask. Let's go. 2 coins. Sure. That looked like a pickaxe play on their part. So did you end up exiling something else from your hand? Can I see? Oh yeah, you got rid of a coin. I agree with that choice since you don't have a fear to get rid of. That getting rid of a funding is definitely the right call here.
Yeah, so after this turn, I got bailed out with the golden pan, but I was feeling very good. I thought I just got a lot of value from this turn.
Yeah.
Looking back, you know, I think assuming, I get the gold pan. Even with the gold pan, I think, and I don't know what you think, but the other original plan, like the more vanilla plan, I think that I may have still even prefer that even after flipping that gold pan. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's interesting because so in my version of the plan, you would have had extra coins, and maybe you like buy the item market's a little bit tougher to tell, like who's buying stuff, does anything flip out, like probably in the version that I'm pitching, like I would have bought torch for a couple points, but that's the same amount of points as your tent, and then have some gold left over, which is fine. We're still killing the guardian here, so you still have that going on. um, I think the resources, we've used an idol in the scenario that I pitched, but I think the resources are a little bit more favorable for you. Um, I think actually your tent plan ended up working out maybe better, but it's close. And because it's close, my simpler line is just safer if you don't flip into something you can buy.
Yeah, now you got very lucky with
But I
the
mean, I think you picked up a lot of good things in this round, and I thought the chain of duplicating the doing the ancient wine into the ceremonial rattle was like a really good line that generates a lot of points. I think you're about to pass for the turn. Can you actually? I'd love to do like a quick sense. I think I meant to ask this at the end of turn 3. What do you think the positions are right now? Like, who do you think is how close do you think this game is? Who do you think is winning? I think it probably involves us looking at people's discard piles as well. But I'd love to hear what you think.
um. I think it's pretty close between blue and green right now, and I think I'm in last place currently, but I'm not out of it. Um, but I'm thinking it's between blue and green. Um, they have about blue has a bigger deck, so maybe some more points there, and blue's also ahead on the track, and he's has more resources, and it's still his turn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but he has one less guardian.
Yep.
But given all that, I think blue is probably in the lead. and green is behind, and then I'm in third.
Yeah, I mostly agree with your assessment. I do think this is a very close game, so I think the fifth round will be really interesting. I think absolutely Axer is winning the game. Blue is just, yeah, he's down a Guardian, which does hurt and might matter in the long run if he can't find other ways to score points. But he's significantly on the ahead on the track, is like likely to get one, uh, if not two, maybe even three bonuses, depending on how much pressure you guys put on him next round to race up the track there, and is favored to be first to the top. So all of that is a really big deal. His deck is the best deck of everybody's. Maybe not victory points wise, but just in terms of like content. Like there's just really good stuff in there, right? Pickaxe, horse, stone key. I haven't been paying enough attention to know what the other three cards in his deck are, but he might actually just have a weaker next turn. BC, I've not been paying enough attention, but I don't remember him picking up anything that I'm like, oh, that like seems really good. So I think given that he's like behind on the explorers and behind Axer is definitely behind him. I think you are ahead of BC at this stage because your deck points are good and your deck has no fear in it. Like you're gonna only draw gas next turn.
Mhm.
And I mean varying quality of gas. Like you certainly have lot more luck if you draw binoculars 10 sea turtle. But you know, I think that like you're maybe a little ahead of BC at this stage. Oh, that's an interesting kind of early-ish pass from Axer. Feels like a mistake for them to not have moved up the left side there to get the card draw and just pressure the top of the track. Maybe they're trying to be quaint with their resources. That is a pretty nice flip for you right there. And of course, you have Flask for more card draw, so that's a good draw. Yeah, exploring that top site is, or not exploring, but grabbing that top site is a nice pickup for BC. The explorers here are going to be tough though because there's only one middle site, and so I actually do think that there's, unless there's a way to get a bunch of other compasses, like there might be a race to grab that middle site because people won't necessarily have 6 compasses to explore the top. You pretty much always want to be exploring in the last turn on bird map so you can take advantage of that that top book bonus of killing a monster for free. Yeah, see, I don't know why they didn't make that play last turn.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's not a huge deal. Like they already still are ahead, but it's just like a tempo loss for them.
Okay. 3, 4. Thinking I'm going to flask here to try to pick up one more explore just to go to the top.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
A lot of airplanes. It's nice for you that green is pressuring the track so that they're paying more attention to that and you get to pay attention to other things. Like the one thing to take advantage of when you're behind on the track is racing for other stuff while your opponents are scrambling against each other on the track. Yeah, Axer needs a pile of resources here. Pretty good flip for them. All right, so now you've drawn your pile of cards. Let's what are you trying to accomplish this turn? How do you want to accomplish it?
Well, I really wanted to get to level 2. And I missed my compass. I think thinking my main before my main goal was to get to level 2, and now it may have change, but maybe not because I really don't like this reward on this level 1 site either.
Sure. Yeah, kind of disappointing.
Um, so there is a chance I use binoculars to get a compass, and if I do that, I'm probably going to use this site because it also helps. I mean, I'm not worried about the fear, and at this stage of the game, I think gems are the most useful item. Uh,
100%.
so I'm thinking maybe I use the compass to go there, so the next turn I can explore to level 2.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll also say that I actually think you have a free car floating around, right? In
Mhm.
your monster car. I think I would have driven the monster car onto the site you just talked about so that you can tent it as well, because you have so much fear removal that like I would just be trying to hit that site as much as possible. So I would have just sent the guy there so no one else can grab it, and then you get to tent it over, like, and if you want to also binoculars it.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
It is a good spot to block, especially with the Pathfinder staff out. I
Yeah,
think everyone always goes for gems on this last turn.
absolutely. And the penalty of fear is only the points on the last turn, whereas like early in the game, fear kind of craps up your deck, which is it's got the double downside essentially. Oh, that's a bummer. They explored the site that you were most hoping to explore, and they flipped something with a fear, which is what you're most hoping to flip too. That is a bit of a shame. Yeah, coconut flask is always good. I respect that pickup. They're a little overcoined. One of those two should buy that parrot, by the way, because it's 2 coins for 2 points, and they don't need to be precious with their coins right now, so they should be pressing that button, I think. So given
Okay.
that by the way, given that your site with the gold coin was taken, I actually now would not be mad at exploring that middle level one. Just doing it with the single sea turtle essentially, go and grab that spot. I think would be perfectly fine.
So do you prefer that over going to the level 2?
So I think it's kind of similar. So essentially, what you're doing is you're paying 3 extra compasses for 3 extra points. And so if you think about that in comparison to artifacts, it's like playing 3 compasses for an artifact is usually 1 or 2 points and some stuff. And so it sort of ends up being like it depends on what flips out, but I think I actually would prefer the middle level and the flexibility of buying the artifacts. I think probably converts into just a little bit more value and flexibility. Both are fine. Like 3 points or 3 compasses, so I can buy some artifacts, are like kind of close at this stage in the game. But I like having the flexibility. So yeah, I do think that I would prefer the middle site.
Yeah. And with the level 1 side, there's still 2 rubies left.
Mm-hmm.
In the top, there's the ruby and the arrowhead, which is not the best, I don't think. And then there's also the kind of
The
like
rainbow.
rainbow one.
Yeah. Although in the single site there is the crash site, so there's also the
Yes.
possibility of kind of whiffing. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean it's at this stage the exploration is actually a whole lot more about getting the guardian to defeat, I think, than anything
Mhm.
else. Oh, you
Okay.
went for it. Love it.
So it's the
Ah, you
ruby.
hit a nice one. That's great. This gold pan really saving you because you need the coins now too. Yeah, ultimately with the way you drew your hand this turn, the fact that you got the tent and the flask, the tent line I think actually was probably more powerful,
Yeah.
which is cool, fun to see. Yeah, good for Axer getting to the top there. Okay, so one thing I'll say is that I do pay a little bit of attention to what rewards people take when they get to the top. So he grabbed a tablet, which is, I would say, tablet or compass or card draw are the best rewards at the top. So him taking a tablet gave me like really no information. But if he took like a coin, then I would say like, oh, at the top are like coin, exile a card or something like that. Like that's I look to see if they take something that I think is bad, essentially.
Got it. So here,
Got some advancing to do.
yeah, I think I'm just going to be going. Yeah, up.
So I think one thing that I would be, you're not quite there yet. Next turn, you get to advance and get a whole pile of compasses. But I've got my eyes on that Runes of the Dead for a lot of reasons. One is you're a little low on coins and you actually need them on the top of the track. Two is you're low on tablets and you need those on the top of the track, and you have a lot of blue cards in your hand. And it gives you a fear, which you don't care about. You're functionally immune to fear at this stage. So I'm like, my eyes are watering for Runes of the Dead right now. Ooh, Serpent Idol, also very good for exactly the same reason. Runes of the Dead is even more important, but Serpent Idol is like, I actually would pick it up right now. If I was in your shoes, I would have bought it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, I think I was just so laser focused on this. I was like, because that's what I'm going to
Totally.
do.
I mean, the Runes of the Dead is more important, honestly. So I think that works out okay, assuming that no one snaps it up in the meanwhile. Yeah, there we see BC. He grabs it. Yeah, if you could have gotten both of them, that would have been the dream. But
This is a nice
yeah, that's a nice flip. Guiding Skull is great.
as well.
Finally, someone picks up that parrot. Ooh, a watch. It's good for them. Unfortunately, your little coin broke, so.
So I think here, I think this is where I tent.
Or you what?
Sorry, I was thinking potentially I tent here for a ruby.
I see.
But I know I didn't pick up the Runes of the Dead, which looking back, I think that's the play right here.
Yeah, I do really think it's the play right here. But we'll see what happens. I think tenting for Ruby, yeah, that seems fine. Used a ancient wine. So
Yeah.
you're using probably the discounter?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And grab a Guiding Skull, sure. Guiding Skull is very powerful. I like using your ancient wine for the discounter. I think that's a good use of resources. Gives you a coin that you don't have. Like that works out well. Obviously, I would have preferred picking up Runes of the Dead here, but Guiding Skull is also very good. And it's more likely that opponents will pick up Guiding Skull, whereas they're not necessarily going to take Runes of the Dead. So I wonder if you are maybe advancing at this stage to draw the random card.
Yeah.
Okay. You are advancing, but you're doing it with the idols and tablets presumably instead. It looks like. Sure. Yeah. Given that you noticed that you needed tablets there, even more, I'm gonna twist the Runes of the Dead knife here, and say, because if you're using your idol for it, then like you wanted it, right?
Yeah.
So here, actually, like you can advance your book and pick something up, which is pretty exciting too.
I think that's what I do. I think I actually went with the guiding stone. Oh, I moved over here. Oh yeah, because he
Ah,
got off that spot.
oh yeah, yeah. No, that's great. I like that a lot, actually. That's a nice get for you. I think that's legit. The only thing that's a shame is that that card that you've had all game hasn't been used. And I'll point out that you didn't use the car rather than a compass all the way earlier in the game, because the car it was like a boot that you needed to go for. So that was
Yeah,
one extra compass that you would, in theory, have. You know.
yeah.
So that was a tent. Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
So I do want to point out here that the tent, you spent the 2 compasses to do the top level tent. And if you had counted and realized that you had a funding in your deck, you would know that you were changing 2 compasses into a coin and a tablet. Um, and that's probably a good thing here, looking at the way the board's set out. But I'm asking if you were aware that that was like the trade you were making.
Um, I I don't think I was aware, um, but I didn't consider using it on the other site.
Okay, yeah,
Um, but now that you're saying that, it does make sense keeping 2 compasses. The coin is is pretty much a dead. No, actually,
it's
it's
it
still.
depends on how you think you're going to be advancing on this track here. So I think it's not obvious,
Yeah,
but it's not. But the point I'm trying to get at is that I a lot of times see people auto tent into the top site, and I think it's actually sometimes a mistake.
yeah. I see that.
Here, I think it just depends. Like, there's not necessarily a right answer, depending on how you want to advance on the track here. But
Hmm.
you got a lot of gems right now. Oh, they hit the crash site.
Yeah.
Okay, so my instinct is that you could move the book up and get an artifact here. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, Runes of the Dead is still good. It's not as amazing as it was before because you do have some. Actually, it's actually not good here. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's like actually is probably a mistake to take Runes of the Dead because you've already got your necessary tablets.
Yeah, I think I take
The idol.
the idol here
Mm-hmm.
to go on the right side at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that you can't like take the treasure chest, which is like worth right 3 points, because taking it and have nothing to draw is really a shame. And so, like, to go back to my earlier point about spending the 2 compasses on the card draw and the tablet, like,
Mm,
if you had that card in your deck, the funding card in your deck, at least if you took treasure chest, it's like 3 points and 2 coins, would be all right. And you'd have 2 extra compasses right now for a little bit of extra flexibility. So I
mm,
I think now that we see where we are here, probably should have tented the lower side instead.
yeah.
All right, scooping up, jamming the idol. Moves up the right there. Yeah, that's great. And looks like you're gonna get to the top here, probably with the hourglass here. and then probably use that last idle to get the necessary arrowhead to advance your book as well. Oh wow, last minute compass is fun. And then you are stuck at the very awkward amount of 3 compasses here, which sucks. Yep. Hands up there.
I got 2 cars now.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the last guy you flip is like unusable depending on how things go. Okay, great. You use the passage shell. I mean, you can't use it, but like you at least spent the compasses rather than not spending them. So that's a good call. Obviously, quite a shame, but that is how it goes. Yeah, and then clear out with that. So, very curious to see who does end up winning. I do think it's generally pretty close, but I guess my money is still on Axer for getting to the top first. But one monster down does really hurt, and BC did pick up the 11 pointer, so BC might have come up from behind here. I do think that was a very good last turn for them. And you notice that BC grabbed that fear compass gem site that I was pitching, that if you had moved to earlier in the turn, you could have used the tent for.
Yeah.
And you have a couple like unused, right? Like your assistant and your removal there are unused. So that's essentially, those are like 2 points you just didn't get, right? And so then you're very close here. And yeah, it looks like my read was correct with Axer ahead and you just ahead of BC here. And so I mean, this game was very in range for you. I actually think, I mean, overall, I think you played well, and the stuff that we talked about are just little things, right? Little edges that I think could have put you over the top. I think this game was in range for you to win for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I definitely thought I had a chance here, and couple cleanups here and there would have helped out at the end.
Yeah, right on. Well, thanks for showing. All right, so we are going straight into a second game. I'm driving this one. Hilariously, you are again put into first seat and have actually the exact same starting hand too. That's funny. Let's look at our assistants. Okay, so we have actually much crappier assistants set up in this game, which is generally actually good for you in first seat. You want these to be bad because your opponents are going to be getting them first. So that's nice. I'm curious what you think about the row here.
Yeah, the assistants are not too good. The stone key is really nice. We can't really do much about that.
Yeah, no one really can, right? It's not possible to explore and do stone key.
Yeah, and other than that, the only thing that I really like on the market is the whip, I would say. But even picking it up turn 1 is kind of a gamble, just because you get 2 options, you don't really know what's going to come.
Yeah, it can be. Agreed. Yeah, whip is solid. Bear trap is solid too if you're planning on exploring next turn. I think there's a good chance that you are. But you're right. These are just less exciting than the first game. I said that you can't use stone key on the first turn, but I think it actually is possible if you're in seat 2 or 3 and you grab 2 compasses and you explore for a pace with a compass and then you buy stone key. But that's maybe just too much work for doing that. I'm not sure that that's quite worth it at that level. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Cool. So I bet you probably start with the default. Yep. That's very reasonable. And looks we get Esfuzi tries for a compass start here. And unfortunately, gems get grabbed from you right off the bat. So my default in this position, where these players, these 3 are like often the default starting spots, is I will put an archaeologist to pick up coins pretty quickly here. Does that sound like in line with you, or what do you usually think about?
I think that's what I would do, unless I'm not sure if this is right or wrong, but unless there's something in the market that was I rated as really good, maybe like a dog.
Oh,
Uh,
sure. Yeah, definitely dog. Even some other decent things are worth it. But yeah, for sure, dog. You're right. I would pick up first. Let's see what you do. You pick up some coins. All right, so you're gonna see an explore here, picking up a. Wow, we get a lot of compasses. Sfuzi might get to do the stone key open. That's funny. MBS here. Scoops up the torch. I think given that I talked how much I talked about torch last game, you might know that I actually quite respect torch. I don't hate it as a pickup at this stage in the game. It can clean up your deck. Flipping a watch for you is pretty nice, though. That would probably be my get if I was in your seat here.
yeah, I think I do go with that.
You do, yeah. That's a nice pickup. It's a good item. Ooh, airdrop is very nice here. And Sfuzi wastes absolutely no time going for it. Is this an aggressive parrot pickup? I guess so. I like parrot too, but parrot with torch is an anti-combo because parrot requires you to discard cards, which are ideally fear, and torch destroys cards.
Hmm.
So in the long run, they don't work very well together. So interesting that they kind of rushed that out. I'm not sure that I agree with that. I think those coins were better served as like a whip or a bear trap, honestly. Um, oh, you advance here. I think I would have grabbed the gold pan in your shoes. Although, actually, maybe you noticed the thing that I didn't, which is that your opponents have used literally all of their gold.
Yeah, I that's what I was thinking when I moved it up there. They didn't have any gold, so I wasn't. There was unless he used his idol.
Oh, that would be insane.
I think that would actually be better for us if he.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, okay, no, really nice spot that they're out of gold at this point. Now he presses up, so he does actually have one. Same here. And then let's see, do you grab the gold pan now? You do. Okay, yeah, really well timed. You're even paying more attention than I did. A lot of people I know don't like fishing rod, but I'm kind of pro fishing rod. I actually like it at the beginning of the game. He picked up the whip, which I think makes a lot of sense. Carrier pigeon is a very good 2-coin card. It is like one of the best cards you can start the game with, I think, actually. Yeah, you respect the carrier pigeon. That is an extremely good pickup. The one thing I do want to point out, one thing I've liked all your purchases so far. However, it puts you in this very funky scenario now where you are going to draw next turn a coin, a watch, a gold pan, a carrier pigeon, and then one of these 5 cards. And let's say you draw like like an exploration or a funding. You're gonna look at your hand next turn, and it's gonna be like pretty good. And then the turn after that, you're gonna get like a pile of fear. So buying multiple cards on the first turn can sometimes lead to this very awkward third turn situation, which isn't to say that you shouldn't do it. It's just to name that it can lead to some very clunky draws later on and something to be aware of. He does. He goes for the stone key play. I love it. That's so cool. Quick pass by MBS here, but yeah, I guess they are just out of gas because they ended up grabbing tablets here, so it's a little bit awkward for them. Everybody not grabbing an assistant on the first turn, doing other stuff. Fuzi, yeah, I guess that really doesn't have. I guess if they have a compass in hand, they might move up here and get something. So I think that's a reflection of the bad assistance, probably just like a little bit of a slower start. So you have 2 coins here. Do you have a sense of like what you like here, especially knowing the way your deck looks right now?
Yeah, I was thinking about getting fishing rod.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think I ended up passing, but actually looking back, I think I may have preferred bear trap just because I'm going to go exploring next turn.
So Are you gonna go exploring next turn? You're gonna have a difficulty getting compasses, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not going to explore next
I
turn.
mean, like in a vacuum, I would take Bear Trap for sure. But because you don't have the compasses, I actually think it's unlikely that you're exploring next turn. That is the awkward thing about building your deck up to the 4 here as well. So another thing to think about in that process. You're going to be a little bit at the whim of the board as things go forward, which is okay.
Yeah, and I think the reason I didn't take same thing that you were just saying with the fishing rod is then I would draw those five, and then I would get stuck in this situation. But I would buy something with fishing rod, but I'd get those five cards, and then turn three, I would have these five
Yeah.
cards, and then it would just keep. I would keep changing. The next turn I'd have the same five cards I had in turn two,
Yep.
unless they bought stuff or drew something. So I was like a little hesitant to add something, but that may have been a mistake because the fishing rod adds a card to my deck and kind of throwing all that off.
Yeah, no, I like your reticence here. I think that it's worthy of being skeptical. I think I probably still would buy fishing rod because then it's like you draw these 5 on the turn after, and then if there's some vehicle to draw a card, you knew exactly what it is that you're gonna like have fishing rodded next turn or whatever. And it might
Yeah.
even be something like the journal, just as like a way to convert some resources. But I think it's also okay to like slow roll your coins a little bit here because, yeah, the draws are a bit awkward. But you've got gold pan. You're gonna have so many coins in this game that I think I think that my sense is building a crappy deck would be meaning like a deck full of just like fine things is like a vehicle to just score points. It's not amazing, but it is fine, and can be a fun way to play sometimes. All right, so aggressive gem pickup here from Esfuzi with the discard. I guess they're really trying to press on this before you can get there, which makes sense. They are not able to pressure this spot as much. MBSS grabbing this site right here. Your draw here actually is great. I think drawing the fear is advantageous because it means that next turn you're only going to draw 1 fear as well. Interesting. Yeah. So what are you thinking about here? Because you have a couple paths you could choose from.
So I'm losing the race on both tracks to get the X bonus.
Yep.
I think that I went Arrowhead, and it's I think just blocking Arrowhead 2 is good on turn 2 because everyone, like you were saying, everyone needs Arrowhead right now.
Yep.
Green already has one, but I could stop blue from getting one. And I have Pigeon in my hand, so I can just go up the right side. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. I think I think that line is totally reasonable. Going to the spot using the fear early. I think the one that I probably would have leaned on is using the fear to get the compasses. The reason being you have all these solid cards in your hand. You're gonna be so drowning in coins that I really, really, really want to use my coins to explore. And exploring is going to give you like a little bit more diversity of resources that will allow you to get more moves up here to get these assistants to do some stuff for you. And so I like the idea of grabbing these 2 compasses to go up to 3, and then therefore you can use this to explore one of these spots this turn, get a little bit more resource flexibility for getting on the track. That would have been my approach.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see if
Oh, Fast you liked what I was doing. That's hilarious.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, your instincts are strong, right? Cool. My guess is that you are playing this with the plan of getting this this upgrade one here, and I do really like this play here because while tablets are very important, you've got a little ways to go before they're very important. So you do exactly that. I think this is a great line. Not a dream flip for you. You would have the extra coin is kind of annoying, but at least getting the arrowhead is nice.
Yeah,
Hilariously, this is also the monster you
yeah.
had last game. That's so funny. Yeah, this sucks a little bit because here you don't have a fear card in hand, so it's a little bit more painful to please this guy.
That's what I was looking for, I think.
All right, some explorers from our opponents. This is a really bad explorer for Esfuzi because they're a little bit over tableted here when they need other resources. I mean, they have two idols, so they're just gonna have to kind of like force them through, I think, doing this. He also made a really interesting choice of using the whip to travel, and I can see why. Like, maybe he was not excited to use the ornate hammer here, and so he'll get to like use this later. I think that's a really clever play that people often forget about, is that you can use these exiles to do stuff like that. So I do like that line from Esfuzi, but awful flip for them. They might not even be able to kill this with the 4 coins. That sucks. This is not a bad flip for MBSS because they can kind of go up here, but they're either going to have to choose whether they want to like advance a bunch or kill the frog. Although I guess actually if they get the upgrader, they have a ton of tablets. So this is actually a pretty good flip for them. So that works out nicely in their favor. What are you looking at here?
Um, I well, I guess I'm going up the right. Oh, I could actually same thing. Okay, so I think I do go up the right side, but using the idol for a gem
Yeah.
kind of seems nicer. Uh, yeah. So I guess that's one thing I learned from the last game. But I do think I went up the right side.
Yeah, well, right side here is fine because you can use the idol for gem for the book to move up here. So there's actually kind of this question of like, do you want any of these guys now, or do you want to slow roll? And I don't think any of these 3 are actually all that thrilling for you right now. So I think you're happy to slow roll and then see what comes out and hopefully upgrade.
Yeah.
Do you grab that gem? You advance here. Rather than slow rolling, you grab our friend the upgrader. Upgrader is the best of them, and lucky you actually revealed kind of the worst. That's so funny.
I was actually really happy to see that because now I knew
Yeah.
they were stuck.
That works out pretty well. So the upgrader, by the way, I think is a solid assistant. The reason that I'm generally scared of the upgrader is there's such a thirsty need for these tablets here that it's like upgrading feels taxing rather than beneficial. However, you do have carrier pigeon, which greatly increases the value of upgrader, and I think in the mid game, upgrader's flexibility is like one of the best in the game. So. It's just it's a little awkward early, but fine later, yeah.
I think I went and bought. I think I bought sturdy boots here.
I like sturdy boots a lot. Yeah, the double cars for explore later. I mean, you're maybe never gonna get to 6 compasses. Your deck is awful at making compasses, but just the the ability to use it as car or cars, or like make it boots with like an additional compass, I think is great. I quite like sturdy boots a lot for a 1 cost. I mean, it's not like the dreamiest of all time. Cool. So you used your upgrader to make a gem and then move up the side here. I think that's a great line. You now have the resources left to do a second advance and get your second one. So you manage your resources really well here. Um, Obviously, we just talked about sturdy boots. I think I probably would have bought it before Asfuzi did because you didn't need to rush the moving up the track there, but that's okay. Actually, now you having the extra coins is going to let you buy some other stuff. So you bought the axe there, which I don't hate. You know you're drawing a fear, and axe is good. It's that 2 points to 2 coins ratio. I'm curious if you had considered doing the gold pan and getting a precision compass here.
Um, so I still have the monster.
Ah, so you want to deal with this. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think I would if I used the gold pan to buy that. I wouldn't be able to kill the
Yep,
monster.
yep, you're absolutely right. And precision compass is less exciting as the game goes on. Like it's not it's a good turn one pickup, and then like its value just starts dropping off, I think, quite precipitously after that. But it still is kind of like a powerhouse artifact. Both our opponents are really slow rolling here to not take this. Is this kind of what you meant with like the blocking?
Yeah, this is where everyone's just like trying not to take it and
Yep.
see because all the good ones are must be below all these. All the worst ones came out first.
Yep, exactly. This happened in my finals last year, where there was these three, and there was just this like chicken game of chicken staring contest that we were like doing with each other around it. So it ended up being like very lopsided, right, where the magnifying glasses are going up here. I think is pretty funny. Um, yeah, so I guess then that is fine for you because you can just pivot into killing the monster here.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. You used the watch for 2 coins. That seems like a mistake.
Um. Well, I needed.
Oh, you needed to spend.
Yeah, I needed a coin to kill the monster.
Wait, but you had. Didn't you have 2 coins?
I bought the axe.
Ah, so you were down to 0. I see, I see. Yep. Ah, he managed to get to 4 coins. Oh no, he got a revolver. Oh, with his airdrop. Okay, okay. Lucky him. Not lucky him. I mean, he bought the airdrop and then picked up a revolver, which is not usually the most thrilling card. They're really slow rolling here. That's so funny. Just everybody's shooting their guardians and waiting around. No advance. No advance? Oh, I don't love that. I think at this stage, if I was in NBSS's position, I would have advanced knowing that I'm last. Like, yes, you open up things for other people, but it's another turn of value. And like, I think I think none of these guys are so bad that like missing a turn of value is that important. So being that MBSS was last here, like other people had passed, I absolutely would have used one of these gems to advance up here and then like take the discounter and buy the fishing rod, or even just like the exiler with the hopes of like getting rid of it later because um we have this site in the game that we can use to like get rid of stuff, and like MBSS has already picked up extra fear along the way, so I think that's a missed opportunity there for sure. Yeah, makes sense. We're kind of rushing these resources. And so, all right, where are you at? What are you thinking about for this turn?
Uh, so this is where arrowheads and tablets pretty nice. I can also explore this turn. Um, I would like to use my fear to go to a campsite because I have axe, but I think first I'd like to explore just to see what comes up, what monster comes.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's legit.
so I think I'm just going to do two compasses and use my coin to go to the tablet site.
Yep. The you especially with the upgrader here, like all you care about is tablets.
Hmm.
So exploring here and campsiting here are your two priorities. And given that your opponents are a little bit more lopsidedly structured here than you are, I think you can get away with the explore here. So I think that makes sense.
I kind of like. I don't know if you agree with that. I mean, it turns out it's better. Maybe I didn't do that, but using my fear first to go to the tablet site just because I do have my upgrader. So yeah, I'm going to be very hungry for tablets the whole game.
That is indeed what I would have liked to do.
Yeah.
However, it's worth noting that you preferred to travel by car and you don't really want to grab this site. Well, actually, if you'd gone here first, it'd be okay to grab this site. So, yeah,
Mm.
I think I agree with you. I think I would have done this first. I don't hate this line because grabbing this site is very valuable to you, and I think odds are quite high that one of our opponents, is likely to grab it out from underneath us. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I would grab this first. Looks like dumping some fear there for gems. Just funny, I guess he's moving up this. What did he just buy? Stone jar. Very curious pickup. I don't know what they're trying to draw into. It's so important. They have a lot of fear cards in their deck, so that seems a little bit like a mistake to me. Okay, so it looks like you grab some tablets here. You know you're going to discard this fear to this spider, so I like that quite a lot. That is the advantage, by the way, of having explored first, is now you know, oh, I can use this fear on the spider rather than needing to use it on a campsite. So it does end up being more efficient, which is, part of the reason why exploring early is great. Fascinating. Green had grabbed this guy, the draw discard guy, and you moved here.
Yeah, this was a big mistake here.
Yeah,
I did not. I wasn't paying attention, and I did not know that green took that guy. I thought the row hadn't changed.
got it.
And then I made this move, and I looked, and I instantly saw that. I was like,
Yeah,
oh no. And I think blue takes it, or whoever's next.
they sure do.
Yeah, that one hurt.
That
That one could have been like the game right there.
Yeah. I'll point out, by the way, that MBSS, slow rolled last turn and then ended up moving up and being the first one to pick up one of these anyway. So just to reinforce my point about them, they should have picked one up last turn, I think is further reinforced here. This
Yeah.
this guy, though, is a very nice consolation prize for you. Like, this combo with this is very, very nice.
Yeah.
And you say, yep, yes, please. Love that. Your only problem now is now you don't have a way of defeating the spider. So I think moving up here ended up hurting you quite a bit because now you can't defeat this guy. Yeah, and you ended up having to nuke a card from your hand, which always feels a little bit worse.
Yeah, that was a sloppy.
And then here it's a little funny. You can move up here, but that's not. This doesn't like matter, right? Because you have nothing to upgrade. So you're done. fun. Yeah, definitely a little bit of an awkward round. So many gems for green. I think it's a mistake for them to go to this site. They don't need gems. They're like way overloaded on the wrong resources. Yeah,
Yeah,
huge.
I was thinking about going up the middle because I was trying to figure out if any of them could come and take that just to block them. And I think Blue was.
Alright, I don't want to rush to that. Oops. I want to go back a step. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want to go back to first. No! Can I fix that? No! Okay, okay, okay. I'm going to pause my video really quickly. Okay, we fixed it. We're back. So my question for you is at the end of round 2 here, what's your sense on how folks are doing? You know, here are the discard piles.
I think Blue is doing well. I think it's Blue, then me, then green. Blue, red, and green.
Yeah, Blue's
Um,
definitely in a great position here. Having the stone key and being able to use it again was nice. Good assistant, or like very good assistant and fine assistant. Um, that they already got up to gold, like ahead of the track here. You know, obviously MBSS is ahead by one Guardian, but is also like behind on the track here, and has an okay deck with some more awkward stuff. You also have an okay deck, and yeah, everyone's kind of used all their idols, so definitely I agree with your assessment fully.
you think that last year on my end was very sloppy. I think I could have had a. Well, the assistant kind of turned out to be good because I have the upgrade assistant, but I still would have preferred the boot to Arrowhead.
Yeah, I think the world where you have your magnifying, where you're both these guys are on the same level, but you've killed this guy and you have this guy in your roster
Yeah,
is I agree, probably the better situation.
yeah. Especially because now Blue has the gold version of that guy, so he's gotten a lot of value from B, letting him have it.
Yeah. It's really interesting too. Like we're on round 4 here, and only one player has one gold assistant. So definitely a little bit of a. I mean, I guess turn 4 is like normally the case, but usually, I don't know. This might be a little bit tighter. So it feels like it's going to be a little bit of a lower scoring game by the time we get to the end, which makes sense. The card row at the beginning was pretty awkward. You know, this is like not a dream flip a lot of the time, although it worked out really well in this game. A lot of extra coins out here rather than other stuff. So just a little bit of a clunkier game for everyone. Which again, you know, given that you were in first seat, is actually like maybe better. Gary Pigeon obviously doing a lot of work for you here. What are you thinking about this turn? Like, what are your goals? Where are you headed?
I want to go straight down the middle on the track to take up the upgrading bonus.
Mm-hmm.
See, I have a lot of tablets, so I would just need to pick up Arrowhead to uh, upgrade to Golden Assistant. So, and I don't know if Blue can rush the middle. So if I have time, I'd probably want to go to the Arrowhead Compass spot. Pick up an Arrowhead to go up to Golden.
Yep, I like that a lot. Unfortunately, your hand is kind of crap for it because you have all boats.
Yeah.
Now,
Um,
admittedly, just 2 coins from the gold pan is a boat if you want to just treat this as a boat. So that's not
yeah.
the worst. The other thing to consider here that is sort of interesting, or two things I guess to consider that's sort of interesting, is if you do go up here, it gives you a third compass, which allows you to explore. So that's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
because ideally we'd use this gold coin to explore, ideally in this location right here. So that's something that's a little bit of a time pressure because this is the best reward here. So our opponents also might be thinking that. And then at some point, we'd like to use this fear. And so, again, even though you already make a bunch of tablets, like tablets are just great because you're always upgrading. So you want it to be either like tablets or arrowhead, maybe compasses. So it sounds like you have some flexibility there because you have a couple options thanks to the upgrader. So, given what we just said, I think that I would open with this assistant, advance here, use the upgrade, get the compass, so then we can see if we can grab this site for an explorer. That would be
Mhm.
my opener probably. And you chose basically the same thing. Yeah, instead of using the assistant, use the carrier pigeon, which is functionally the same. So I like that opener a lot for you. Fuzi here, interesting, says, I'm happy to grab the gem. I'm happy to pick up this monster at the end. That's probably pretty nice for them. That says they have a fear card in their hand that they're going to discard and then destroy with a spider. So it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so let's see if I take the explore here. I do like that explore.
You
I'm
do,
not
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do. A little bit of a bummer hit here.
Um, I think I take the compass here.
Yeah, I think that the people default to taking the compasses all the time, and I think that a lot of times like it is correct. It's definitely correct with your deck because you got a thicker deck. So even taking one of these good cards is like not all that worth it because you're gonna play it once before the end of the game, and you are very compass hungry. So just because you don't make any, so I like that get a lot. Yeah, this is nice in that it gives you a way to use your fear card. Okay, some advances there. What are you thinking now?
So I'm thinking I'm gonna use the assistant to get a tablet to go up to refresh the tablet again.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I
uh,
like it. No notes. That's just a good sequence.
yeah.
Nice for them. They managed to get to the bonuses. Not too surprising given that they're up early. Happy that we got that exploring before them.
Hmm. So I think so. We need an arrowhead. We need two arrowheads. Correct? Yeah, two arrowheads.
One for this and one for this.
Yeah.
Yep. And you definitely want to be going up this way because you got extra
Cool.
coins floating around.
Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, and they already placed their archaeologists. So I think just using both assistants, going up the left side, refreshing the upgrader, and then in the future round, um, going to tablet site to upgrade to kill the monster.
So if you use both these guys, that gives you a coin and an arrowhead. So you wouldn't actually have the tablet, even though it kind of looks like it, because you would need to upgrade
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you could use the idol for it. That would be an option. Another option, depending on how you felt about fear, is you could use like a gold pan or whatever to come to this site,
Hmm.
get that tablet that you were talking about, and gems because the gems are actually good now here. So I think this could be a good candidate for visiting. Um, it does crap up your deck a little bit, but I think that's probably okay here.
Yeah, going into the last turn um, should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, alternatively, like these, look like they're water travel, but frankly, if you just use them for 2 coins, they're also road travel. So going to this site is reasonable too. And then, using essentially a combination of these, like this here can make 2 tablets. You can upgrade one of them. That'll give you the stuff to go here. And then you can use the resources from this site to knock off this guy. So I think you got a couple decent options here. The last thing I want to point out is that I think actually what I do here is this and this, upgrade into the arrowhead, kill this guy for the discard because his reward is draw a card. And I would use it to draw a card and see if I want to use the new card to travel or if I want to use these cards to travel.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Interesting. It looks like you go for this one. I think it's a good site. I think that makes a lot of sense. What was the... Oh, we took coconut flask. Yeah, it's just good. Just good value. Doing some upgrading here. Everybody's racing off to the top there. This is fun. The number of gems that green had finally came into play. It's pretty funny. All right. You have an upgrader. You have an idol. You have a ton of compasses.
Yeah. I guess the decision is, do I use the 3 compasses for a war mask to kill, or do I use an idol? I can get 2 tablets, upgrade one, then I'll have that. I kind of like that a little bit more, actually.
The second one, the tablets upgrade, kill the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. War mask is fine, but it's not a great item, so if I can avoid buying it, I'd love to. Yeah, I think this works out well. For what it's worth, I don't know that I would have used the card draw here, just because you're already nearing the end of your turn, and so I sometimes like to have the extra card when I have more information. A lot of times I'll save the scorpion for the next turn. That being said, drawing axe here is like the ideal draw. You can like remove a fear and a compass, so it worked out really well. But I a lot of times will slow roll the scorpion until the next turn.
And that's because...
Are you asking me like why I slow roll it?
Yeah, because yeah. Well,
so the idea is that like if I flip a card that I can't use or can't use well, then I'm annoyed that I used the scorpion. So like I can't remember if you have another fear in your deck. What do you have? You have 2 compasses, a coin, and maybe something else. Maybe there's I can't remember what the 4th card is. But if it's like if you had drawn a fear card, then you can't use it. Or if you had drawn, I actually don't think you have any, but if you had drawn an artifact card, it's like you can't use it really, or like you might have to use it in a bad situation. I think actually like the way your deck is right now, it probably is fine one way or another. And this is one of the things where like really tracking your deck can really help. But if you're not tracking your whole deck, I just like having the extra, I have the extra space where I'm making an intentional decision about which cards I'm using in which cases, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. It's to always just not do it, but as I'm playing more, it makes sense to kind of hold it. And sometimes you do want to shuffle your deck for
Yeah,
Shuffle your
definitely. The when you shuffle your deck can be an important question for it. But you are aware that you'll always shuffle your discard and shove it under your deck no matter what, right? This
yeah,
is yeah, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense to do some axing here. And you don't have any guys to kill, and you don't, I think, necessarily need any of these, so I can see a watch pass in our very near future here. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like keeping the compasses there. A lot of people get antsy and decide to just start buying stuff willy-nilly. I think your patience here is a very good call. You'll also need these compasses for like a top explore next turn. Like if you can get the untap one, that's great. I think this was a really good round for you. It felt like you did a fair amount of catching up here in terms of just like picking things up. I thought that they were like efficient. You moved up on the track in a nice way. And neither of these other two had a terribly thrilling turn. It's a little sucks for you a little bit that star charts flipped when you've passed, and also you're going last next turn. And Flask coming out is dirty. So I imagine that's going to be Sfoozy's pickup here. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for you. Flipping automobile is really nice. You're the one who's like rich with cash, so you might be able to buy that next turn for the 3 points. Oof, not a great flip. So there was a fear in there last round, by the way, for my point about the Scorpion.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. Sfoozy kicking off the turn with a 2 compass pickup, and they've only done 2 explores. I think this is I guess they're trying to rush moving up here and getting the move. I'm wondering if this is a mistake on their part. I don't know if they think they're going to get to 6 compasses, but if they don't think they're going to get to 6 compasses, they should have been using these 3 compasses to explore here, because they've already got their 3 extra compass bonus, and they might just not be able to go to the top if one of the 2 of you decided that you were going to explore mid-level here. So that is, I think, a very risky choice on Sfoozy's part. Weird kickoff choice from MBSS this, to go here. That doesn't seem like a highly contested spot, but okay, yeah. So what are you thinking here?
So this is late game. Rubies are always really nice. Have a lot of compasses, so we can explore the top level. There is the star charts available. It'd be nice to pick that up with the book advancing. I don't think it'll last by then, but also I think I prefer going to level 2 rather than picking up the star charts.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and because of your hand here, I think you could have had both. So if you buy star charts here and you go down to 2 compasses and 3 coins, and then you use star charts to pick up 2 compasses as the rebate, you go up to 4 compasses, and then you have 2 more here, or when you advance your book here, you have 3 more here. So if you take the 2 compasses from this, and then you use this to trigger this spot right here, and discard your fear card, which is like you're trying to figure out how you can use this fear card. The answer is star charts for the price of 4 compasses and a coin. You get 2 compasses back. So you spend 2 compasses and a coin. Essentially, you get a gem and 2 points. So a really good trade-off. So I think that's how you do star charts, and don't lose your crack at the top here. And your opponents have just demonstrated they don't have a good way to get compasses. So you are still quite likely to get this spot here, I think. So that's, I think, the line I would have played out. Awkward flip. There's a guy with the boat. Although you're probably going to kill him with a second seed anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, a little bit of a shame that he gets up here first. And then he'll pick up star charts. Yeah, that's a good get for him. Guided Skull coming out. Pretty sweet for you. I also don't mind Tiger Claw Pin that much. Yep, Svoozy choosing to get this resource means that they gave up on this, which I think may be a mistake. I guess they actually really wanted the star charts, so maybe not a mistake, but they're giving up. It looks like MBSS is going to be the first to the top there, and I think that race to the top is not well valued by people. You know, part of the reason that you're behind is being in first seed and those tempo costs, but oof, unfortunately, looks like Svoozy also grabs Guided Skull. That's painful. But I do like that you moved up there. And quick snatch up of the idol to probably advance to the top there. Yeah, I think that's the right call on MVSS's part. They grab a tablet, which tells us nothing. All right, where are you at now?
So I was actually thinking this last turn too, but I was actually thinking about, I didn't do it, but I was thinking about exploring last turn because that would block them both from getting that one level 1 site, which that's the only thing they're going to be able to get.
Sure.
Which would have been good because they both can advance their books far enough. But I didn't do that. I advanced my book, but now they both have 5 and 4 cards in their hand, so they could probably figure out a way to get at least one of them 3 compasses. So I ended up exploring because I wanted to kind of block that, get another idol, and I do think there's a chance I can kill 2 monsters this turn.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's pretty interesting. Awkward choice about whether you want to exile this for a point, or there's a chance that this monster is a monster that actually uses fear.
Yeah, I sat here for a while actually trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I remember there were still a good amount of creature monsters left from what I remember that still had the discard thing. I didn't really know what to do. I ended up just destroying the fear because I thought, if I don't pull one, then I would have lost out on a victory point. But even if I do pull one, that doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily use it because the one on top is kind of easy to kill.
Yep.
So I ended up just destroying the fear.
Yeah, I think that's probably the choice I make as well at this stage in the game. Oh, and then awkwardly you draw ants. Okay. But yeah, I like blocking them from getting this last Explore here. Like, I think both of them are cooked from getting an Explore this turn, which is great for you because their books can take advantage. Well, actually, I guess MBSS's maybe can't. But certainly Svoozy's can, and I think Svoozy's your primary threat right now. So this looks like you're maybe prepping for this or advancing. I think it actually does make some sense to advance on the track here for the card draw.
Yeah.
That is exactly. Oh, that's a nice rip.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's kind of an interesting spot here. I think I'm gonna be using carrier pigeon no matter what. But then I could
Totally.
either go up to the left and or I can choose to go to the right with the book right now to pick up to get an artifact. Um, well, I remember what I did. I ended up moving the book and I got the war club and I killed the ant.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know if I'm super happy about that, but actually, now that I'm still looking at it, because it's going to be hard to move that book.
Yep.
So maybe that is the play. Is the tiger claw is the gem site available
The
still?
gem site is, yes, but you'd have to discard a card with this.
Yeah. So I guess that is the play. You'd let me know what you think, but going to the right and picking up a war club.
Yeah, I do really like, yeah, I like going to the right and picking up one of these right now. If you pick up Tiger Claw, then probably you're taking this and then maybe using 2 coins, I guess, to like finish the job, or even the axe, because the axe is just 1 compass essentially. So you decide whether you want to use 2 coins or 1 compass to finish this guy off, and then so that would be the Tiger Claw line. The War Club line, I think that if I do the War Club line, I would try to get this guy first because you can use his
Oh yeah,
car to drive over the ants,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which I think is slightly more effective ordering. I'm not sure if you're able to get both of these up here anyway, then it doesn't matter what order you're doing them in because you're gonna auto kill both of them, right? So we kind of have this question of like, can we afford to do all the things? So this is the stage where I usually start like counting. Like if we use this guy, you've got 3 tablets. You want to go up here, so that's you need 4 tablets. So you're looking for like an extra tablet, and then either you've got the arrowhead, so you need +1 tablet, and then either +1 arrowhead or +1 ruby. Either is fine. Um, and so you're asking yourself, how can you do that? How can you do that? And Tiger Claw answers one of those questions, right? It gives you the extra arrowhead. So you're like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. Then where's the extra tablet from? And the answer is like kind of nowhere, or using your idol, I guess.
Mhm.
And so that can get you up essentially this here and then this here, I suppose, like this. So you could advance. You do have sufficient resources if you use the idol and this to get up here. So that, but then you wouldn't have used the war club. So then that would auto kill a guy, which you'd auto kill this guy because you'd no longer have access to arrowheads. And then you would use this guy to run over the ants with like maybe like a remaining card or something because you probably used your coins at this stage. Something like that, I think, is like where you're at. Let's see. Two. War Club. Got the ants. But yeah, I think using this guy to run over the ants is slightly
Yeah.
more effective than being required to use that arrowhead. Although,
Well,
again, if you're advancing, it doesn't matter.
yeah, I end up spoiler, but I end up not able to kill the second monster, so I definitely did something wrong before.
Oh yeah, yeah, that hurts. So you grabbed an extra compass there with the axe. Yeah. Oh, but you bought the war mask here. Okay, okay. I see. So now you have the resource to go here, basically. Ah, yeah, that's a thing we might have missed out on is buying the automobile since we had a lot of coins if
Yeah.
we didn't need them.
Yeah.
Um, at this stage, by the way, I would when he bought that, I would say, okay, crap, I want to use my coins for things, and probably buy the grappling hook because 2 for 2 is good too.
Yeah.
Here, by the way, I think using this exploration for 2 compasses and then using the decorated horn, you can like rebate like a compass and a coin down here. So essentially, that's like spending a compass for a point. Would be another thing I'd be looking at here. Okay, so you do pick up the grappling hook. That's great. And then you out of gas here. Okay, you do buy the decorated horn, right? Seems good. And now you are out of gas, I think.
Yeah, so if I would have killed the dinosaur, then I think with the Warhammer, War Club,
Yeah.
I would have had enough to kill the ant.
You wouldn't have, you said?
I would have. Is
You
that
would
correct?
have. Yeah, I agree you would have. You'd use
Yeah.
the thing from your hand and you wouldn't have gotten the decorated horn,
Yeah.
but you would have had enough to kill the ant. Actually, you wouldn't have needed the war mask either. And I think that if you had, rather than taking the war club, if you had taken the tiger scales, you could have advanced here, like up here, like this. Well, it would have cost you your idol as well. So I don't know. That's a minor difference. I definitely think killing this guy to stomp the ants is the right call. Whether you did it by taking Tiger Claw and using the idol to advance up here, or War Club to do it, either works. I think maybe like 1 point better to do it the way that I suggested it, but pretty marginal. And then here you are done. Yeah. Yeah, so I think noticing overall, like I think a lot of your macro decisions seem generally quite good, and I would definitely focus a lot on paying attention to like when new things are flipping up and the opportunity to like buy stuff, particularly near in like rounds 4 and 5, that are just like good point to resource conversions is like a nice way to just grab a few extra victory points at the end of the game that can really make the difference. Obviously, the way your games have gone both these times, you haven't really had the chance to like race for the top. Like you are from the seat that you're playing from first seat. It's like often the case that you're just going to be playing from behind. You're playing a little bit more deck building, and I think that's good. I think you seem to have some good intuition for that. If you're in second and third seat, though, I do think at some point racing for the top is important. And I'll name that essentially like once this book hits this point, there's functionally no reason to do anything other than move your magnifying glass to the top. So it ends up being a really, really close scoring game, and it is a little bit of a low scoring game, which I think makes sense given the clunkiness of the beginning. So you're very, very close here. Again, I think absolutely in punting distance. Like let's see, if you did kill this guy, you'd score 1 point fewer for not getting the decorated horn, but 5 points extra for the additional kill. So 4 total. So you would have still lost on the tiebreaker, but you would have tied.
Yeah.
And actually, maybe you didn't even buy War Mask. Maybe you buy something that's like 2 points instead. So I actually think that the line of sequencing there literally might have been the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah.
And you know, that's just this game, right? There's just like a handful of little edges. So I think overall, I'd say like, yeah, paying attention to like when new things flip, and do you need to like, it's very easy in Arnak to be like, I need to do this, and then I need to do this, and then I need to do this. So just paying attention of like, wait, can I pause and buy this other thing along the way is really helpful. Um, Realizing rebates, right? Like we talked about the star charts, and it was like, this is too much for like, it excludes my other plan, and the answer is like, actually it didn't. Like you could have had your cake and ate it too in this circumstance.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, other than that, I think your like timing of decision where your workers are going and how you're doing the explores are really good. I think you're killing the guardians at the right times. You know, obviously earlier in the game there was also like a little bit of a sequence here where you moved up here and missed this, and it worked out okay. But I think there's just those little edges, they just add up. But so I mean, I think you're quite a strong pace, but just try to pay attention to those little moments. I think you're going to push to 400 no problem.
Nice. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. This was really fun to do. Thanks for the idea, and thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna